It's been 2 months since the Golden State Warriors won the NBA Finals, and if you're a Warriors fan, it's probably been very lovely the entire summer, pulling receipts and telling everyone the Bay's back. Shit, Steph and the Warriors shut all the haters up, so I have no problem with you guys bragging.
Congratulations!
But I think it's time we talk about the elephant in the room. The Warriors are in a very tight situation financially and on the verge of, after this season, losing core players that helped put the Warriors on top. Now, these decisions don't need to be made technically right now, but the decisions of the Warriors front office will set the future of the Golden State Warriors and Steph Curry. But we need to understand why the Warriors are in this predicament. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Let's take a deep dive to see if the Warriors can rebuild and repeat at the same time. Now, in the 2019 offseason, Kevin Durant wouldn't return to the Golden State Warriors and would go and play with Kyrie Irving on the Brooklyn Nets. I wonder how that's going. Instead of losing Kevin Durant for nothing, who was an unrestricted free agent, the Warriors were able to sign and trade Kevin Durant to the Brooklyn Nets and receive D'Angelo Russell, who's coming off an All-Star season. By doing this, the Warriors wouldn't lose Kevin Durant for nothing, and KD gave the Warriors a slight discount. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green would be re-signed that offseason as well, with Klay earning a 5-year $189 million deal and Draymond earning a 4-year $99 million extension. Jordan Poole would also be drafted by Golden State in the 2019 NBA draft as well. Now, by gaining D'Lo, the Warriors didn't lose much money on their payroll. They were the 7th highest team in payroll in the 2019-2020 season, and also didn't have Klay Thompson that entire year due to him nursing an ACL injury that he suffered in the 2019 NBA Finals. Steph would also miss the entire season with a hand injury, and the Golden State Warriors would perform terribly. D'Lo wasn't a good fit, and the Warriors would complete a great trade, and in hindsight, traded away D'Lo and a bunch of scrubs for Andrew Wiggins and a Minnesota first-round pick. Now again, the Warriors weren't freeing up cap from this move, but only acquiring similar valued assets at the time. Wiggins was viewed as overpaid and hadn't lived up to the #1 pick potential the league expected from him. And with the Warriors earning the 2nd pick in the 2020 NBA draft, they would select big man James Wiseman. Going into the 2020-21 season, the Warriors would lose Klay Thompson again for the entire year before the season would start due to an Achilles injury, changing the expectations for the franchise that year. Even with a limited roster, Steph would have a phenomenal season, would become the scoring champion and also an MVP consideration, but it wasn't enough to get the Warriors into the playoffs. James Wiseman, their #2 pick, would miss the second half of the season due to injury, and the Warriors had Steph and Dre primarily surrounded by new players added into the Warriors system, players like Juan Toscano-Anderson and Jordan Poole. Now remember, the Warriors were first in payroll amongst the entire NBA and first in luxury tax as well. Luxury tax is a tax that NBA employs to teams that go over the salary cap set that year. 2 years of missing the playoffs, and the Warriors were one of the highest payroll teams while not sniffing a postseason win. Now, after drafting Jonathan Kuminga and Moses Moody in the 2021 NBA draft, the Warriors were still #1 in salary cap and luxury tax. The problem resides when you're rebuilding, but the financial books say otherwise. Teams like the Rockets, Pistons, and Magic have been bad for the last few years. Though there hasn't been a complete focus on winning, those teams have been trying to gain assets and young talented players through the draft and free agency, but also have a lot of cap space because they're not paying for players who are net positives for championship teams. The Warriors have had this issue since KD was traded, and even though they've been bad for the past 2 years and eventually won the championship last year, that problem is made larger because now the Warriors have limited cap space to resign their own players and also keep the players they drafted due to their poor record. Not to mention, since you're already above the salary cap, the luxury tax is only going to increase as the years go on. Players like Gary Payton II, who were important for the Warriors to win the championship this year, were unable to get re-signed, not because the Warriors couldn't re-sign him, it was because the tax that it would include to re-sign a player above the salary cap would have cost the Warriors front office millions more than the original contract proposed. Okay, so what do the Warriors do? As of right now, I think the Warriors still have a championship core that can repeat this season. I think Stephen Curry has proven to everyone that if you surround him with adequate pieces that the Warriors have, then he can bring the most out of every single player on that roster. Klay Thompson will be 100% and will be much more impactful. Jordan Poole is expected to have another great year, and the young talent on the team already in Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and James Wiseman will be key in their repeat run. And I just want to mention how important Andrew Wiggins is for this team. He became an all-star last season, which many people, including myself, didn't believe he could achieve in the NBA, and throughout the playoffs, his performance round after round improved so much that he was the Warriors' best point of attack defender and second best player on the team behind Steph. I wanted to do a whole career breakdown on Andrew Wiggins, but for short, he has 100% proved how worthy and important he is for the Warriors' long-term success. There's been a lot of talk about Draymond Green, but even with his lack of offensive toolset, he is still one of the smartest players and defenders the league has ever seen. So, to count out the Warriors like many did last year would be dumb, but I want to still highlight with this repeat the Warriors will try to undergrow. There is a possibility they may have to choose between their younger core or their older vets next season. Draymond, Poole, Wiggins, and Clay could potentially be traded only because the Warriors won't be able to financially keep them. And the Warriors owner, Joe Lacob, who's been signing off these checks, has clearly stated that a change is brewing. Does this mean that the Warriors will look to reside in their younger talent, who are paid much lower than the players I mentioned before? Or do they look to get rid of the younger guys now, to free up cap for the older championship core that are surrounding around Steph until he retires? There are a lot of questions to be asked, and I think the first few weeks and even months will determine the route the Golden State Warriors decide to go for the future of the team. What do you guys think? What do you expect from Golden State this year, and are your favorites to repeat again? If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more hoops content. And be sure to turn that post notification bell on so you never miss a video. Until next time, stay on beat.